Good afternoon, all. I, Abhinav, on behalf of NEN and Vadhwani Foundation, welcome you all for this webinar and also would like to introduce our expert from Snapdeal, Mr. Yuvraj, and Mr. Asghar from NEN. We welcome you for this webinar of SmartE Challenge 1, which is in association with Snapdeal. You will be listening a lot until we allow you the access of the question answer session, but please keep writing down your questions in the box given below. I'll just introduce Mr. Asghar. Mr. Asghar is the director of NEN, Institution Capacity Building, and Institutions Relationship is the core he is directing and handling. NEN, you would already know, has Pan India presence, and with Snapdeal, we have come up for this challenge to get you a platform and a chance to showcase your entrepreneurial skills. Coming to Mr. Yuvraj, he represents Snapdeal as the person from their content team, and he would be answering your queries with respect to the process of Snapdeal and how this onboarding or seller approach will take place. He will give you some guidelines, hints, and even tips also, which will make your challenge more exciting. Uh, Before I hand over the session to Mr. Asghar, I would like to mention few things to all the participants that you will be on mute by default. You may ask a question by typing in the panel provided below, as I explained little earlier. We will have a question answer session towards the end of the webinar, and you can be ready with your questions. Keep writing it down. As the time allows, we will answer your questions. Please mention your questions very clearly and as short as possible. Now, I will hand it over to Mr. Asghar and we will have the session start. Asghar, over to you.
Thank you, Abhinav. So welcome everybody to the first SmartE, the Apprentice Challenge competition that is being launched today. I'm sure most of you have heard about SmartE, at least some of you, I'm sorry, because we ran a pilot sometime in May, and this pilot, we kind of ran this program for a few institutes in select cities to kind of test it out. What would the response would be from the colleges, from youth like you, and also what would the learning elements of this program would be. So before I get into explaining what the SmartE challenge is all about, and particularly this partnership with Snapdeal and this context, this contest, I would like to give some context about why we came up with this new idea of running a game, actually a challenge. The idea here is all of you would be undergoing entrepreneurship training in your colleges, be in the form of classroom courses, it could be workshops, it could be various training programs. But the fact of the matter is, you are not an entrepreneur until you practice entrepreneurship. You might learn everything about entrepreneurship in a classroom. You might understand the nuances. You can understand the theoretical aspects of entrepreneurship. However, until and unless you start practicing them, you will not get the real world experience. Keeping this in mind, NEN has been kind of recommending and kind of planning for various real world experiences for students on campuses. Some of them are like campus companies, then there are startup jobs, startup internship programs, then there are projects that our students work on, live projects from various startup companies. So these have been some of our experiential learning programs for our students so far. What we also thought is, this was a brainchild of our executive vice president, Mr. Shashi Chimala, when he joined NEN. He said, why not come up with a nationwide, a pan-India competition or an activity which will engage students from across the country in an experiential activity. This is on the lines of the apprentice program, which is run by the Donald Trump company. I'm sure most of you would have seen that on TV. So this is very similar to that particular program. The idea here is to teach students, aspiring entrepreneurs, I would say. I wouldn't say students, I would say aspiring entrepreneurs, because we have not only students from various colleges participating in this, but we have a lot of professionals working in various companies who would be part of this particular program going forward, right? So this is about teaching aspiring entrepreneurs the different aspects of venture creation, or different elements of entrepreneurship. For example, how to talk to a customer, how to sell, how to do marketing, how to do product launches, right? How to build brands. These are some of the things. Some of the things, of course, you'll be learning in theory classes. However, there are certain elements, like for example, how to talk to customer, how to deal with negative feedback, how to deal with how do you manage crisis with customers. No course teaches these elements. These are the aspects that you would learn by being, dirtying your hand, or being part of this whole exercise, exercises like this. So which is why we came up with this challenge, this format of it's called the SmartE, the apprentice challenge. Here the different nuances of entrepreneurship are broken down into 6 modules. This is the first module that we are running, and this module is on sales and marketing and some element of market research, right? The next
Muted. Unmuted.
So in this particular challenge, what we are doing is, apart from there would be a mix of theory learning that will be in the form of online webinars and video courses. In addition to that, the actual challenge is about you, the participants, all of you from across the country. You would be taking up this requirement of SnapDeal. The idea here is of SmartE is to partner with corporates, various corporates or startups, take up some of their business needs or business challenges and convert that into a gamified challenge. So where people like you, youth like you, would actually compete with each other and come up with solutions for the particular organization. In this context, Snapdeal is the partner we have partnered with, and Snapdeal has a business requirement of onboarding sellers onto their marketplace. Now you know Snapdeal is one of the India's top e-commerce marketplace, e-commerce companies, and they're doing a phenomenal job, and we are all are their customers one point or the other. Now we have the opportunity to bring sellers to their marketplace. The whole idea is that each one of you in your different teams will go out into the real world, identify sellers based on the criteria that Abhinav is going to lay down, and then onboard these sellers onto the marketplace. So these people move, they sell their wares not only in the brick and mortar shops but also onto the e-commerce platform. So that is what the whole challenge is all about. Now, why is this required, right? Now, why? So, what are the benefits for you in this? So one, you not only learn about the different elements of entrepreneurship in a practical manner, but you also get to interact with experts both from the partner organization, which is Snapdeal right now, and also the principal partner, I would say, or the main sponsor of this particular program is First Advantage, which is going to be the principal partner of SmartE Challenge throughout for this year, right? So you are going to interact with experts from both Snapdeal as well as First Advantage, and executives from these companies are going to mentor you, going to share their expertise with you. For example, if this challenge is all about selling and marketing, so marketing experts from Snapdeal and First Advantage are going to give you tips and tricks of marketing, how to actually do real-time marketing, real-time selling on ground, right? And then you will also get exposure to how the corporates and the startup community works, right? It not only enhances your entrepreneurship knowledge, most importantly, it focuses on enhancing your entrepreneurial skills. Because as I said, you might learn everything about building a business plan, writing a great presentation. You might also learn about how to pitch the presentation in a very effective manner so that you'll be able to raise funds. However, like elements like dealing with customers, facing the day-to-day challenges of running businesses, taking quick decisions. These are some of the things that not many courses teach. Programs, this experiential programs like this actually give you an opportunity to learn this, especially in real time. In fact, all those participants, all of you here, would be the CEOs of this particular program. In fact, you have to think and take quick decisions as how a CEO would do of a company, right? So that is the whole idea, to give you real-time experience of running a venture, right? And as I mentioned, entrepreneurial skills are extremely important these days because soft skills are past. Everybody needs to have these soft skills. Good communication, leadership qualities, something that everybody is aware of and everybody has to develop. But what the new mantra in the corporate world also is that you need to develop entrepreneurial skills. And what are these entrepreneurial skills? Primarily, these skills are about leadership. It's about thinking out of the box, being innovative, getting out of a comfort zone and doing things otherwise you would not have done, right? And actually pushing yourself to the limit so that you can achieve what you want to achieve. It's about chasing dreams. It's about being passionate about what you want to do. These are some of the learning that you are going to get in this edition of SmartE challenges that we are going to run throughout the year. As I said, you are part of the first edition of this program. That's one of a kind. The first time in India, something is being launched. The second program would be launched in September. We are talking to various other corporate partners as well. We will share the details shortly with you. And similarly, there would be another program in November, followed by December, January, and February. So it's spaced like every 2 months, we are going to have this experiential program to engage youth like you from across the country. The good news is this program has got such an overwhelming response. In fact, till yesterday we were actually thinking that having 100 teams would be a great thing to start off in the first edition. But believe it or not, we've got 600 plus teams who have registered for this particular program as of 2 o'clock, 2 p.m. today. We have closed the registrations. So this is getting bigger and bigger, hotter and hotter. You are going to compete with the best brains, best entrepreneurial minds at your peer level. Basically, the students from IITs, IIMs, from various other colleges, from top colleges across the country, from tier 1 cities to tier 3 cities. This is a mix of everybody out here, right? So this is going to be a great challenge and we are super excited about this. The primary reason we are also excited not only about the bigness of this program, we're also very excited about this whole program is because of the kind of learning that is going to give to you guys, all of you guys who want to become entrepreneurs one day or the other, right? So this, in addition to the program that you do back on your campus, the courses that you undergo, the campus companies that you run, the work that you do with startups and all this is going to shape up, help you decide how you can become a successful entrepreneur, right? So let me kind of very briefly take you through the pilot that we ran in May. We partnered with one of the companies of Tata's, that is Westland Publishers. I'm sure most of you are aware of this well-known author Rashmi Bansal. She came up with a book, that is, she wrote a book, Arise and Awake. So the competition here was about launching this book and selling this book. So we selected some colleges from few cities from across the country, and 32 teams participated from 5 cities for this particular program, and 2,000 books were sold in a matter of 1 week. And this was phenomenal. In fact, it was that phenomenal that Westland has come back to us saying that they want to run this particular program throughout the year. They want to be associated with NEN and its colleges throughout the year for one or the other activity. The learning from this, one of the important things about this particular program was it was not about just launching the product or selling the product, but it was about how innovatively you do it, because that is the key element now, right? How different are you from the rest of the world? So the team that did most innovatively and the maximum number of books they sold won the prize, and it was Acropolis group of institutions from Indore who were the champions in this, right? So what are the key elements that we are trying to, as learnings that we are trying to cover in SmartE Challenge? For you, it will be about learning to think differently in an innovative manner, be creative, and do it the unconventional way. It's all about that, right? What's the differential between me and the masters that I'm studying with, right? How can I be different? How can I do it different? It's about that, right? Because like you, there will be 600 other teams there, which means around 1,400 students would be participating in this competition, this edition of competition. Now you need to be extremely innovative, extremely what I would say, think unconventionally to get to be the winner, right? The other important thing, I'm sure most of you, the management students here, would know, management is all about optimizing your available resources, right? Of course, it's important to think out of the box, but what is also important is to understand what are the resources available for me right now and how do I make the best use of them. So that is an important thing that you are going to learn, right? And of course, then there is about working with teams. And I'm sure all of you are being trained and talked about how important teamwork is, and there are various programs that happen in each of your colleges about building team spirit and working in teams and all that. But let me not kind of go into details about that, but very quickly I'll tell you, as I understand, teamwork is all about working with people who do not think like you, right? If you think that teamwork is about working with best friends, I'm sorry, you will be disappointed, because in the real big bad world, the corporate world, it will be that so many people will think so differently from you, but you'll still be able, you will have to work in an amicable manner with these people and still achieve the task at the end of the day. So teamwork is essentially about working with people who need not necessarily think like you. So these are the things that you would learn, because we see that teams need not be formed from your own colleges. Teams can be formed from across colleges, from across cities, anywhere in India for this particular challenge, right? And then of course there will be individual performers also going to be awarded in this particular edition, right? So this is about SmartE. I'm sure you guys are all very excited. I personally am really very excited, because I strongly believe that you are not an entrepreneur until you're an entrepreneur, and this is the opportunity for you to practice entrepreneurship, and in a very limited time. The time given for this particular program is 2 weeks, right? And in 2 weeks you need to actually do a lot of stuff. You need to do a lot of market research to identify who are the right sellers. Do they have the sufficient number of products that match the criteria, right? And will they be eligible to be part of the Snapdeal marketplace? Then there's also a thing about changing their mindset from moving away from the brick and mortar way of selling to selling through an online platform, right? This is a lot about concept selling. It's a lot about convincing. It's a lot about your communication skills, right? And then you will also get to understand the processes of how e-commerce marketplace is going to work, right? So there are certain guidelines to be adhered to, because we are working with multiple partners here. The first and foremost, you will use the content and the material given to you by the program heads from NEN and Snapdeal in the right manner. It should not be misused. And you when you go out into the market, when you go out to speak to the people, you are not going to say that you are representing NEN or Snapdeal or First Advantage in any manner. You are going to tell them what this is all about, that you are a part of a program called the SmartE Apprentice Challenge, which is run by these organizations, and this program is all about whatever you're talking about, right? You're not going to say that you're representing NEN or any of the partner organizations, right? And also, as I mean, normally they say salespeople lie. I would strongly defer to that. I strongly disbelieve in that, because I have been a salesperson also, and we don't lie, right? The thing is, and also we don't have to over promise things. What we need to do is tell them what the facts are, be factual, but be convincing. You need to convince people. If you can actually positively influence people's thinking, that is, you are a winner, right? So that is what you need to do. Then finally, you be aware not to misuse any information exchanged with you during this course of 2 weeks by either by Snapdeal or by NEN. What I mean to say here is, some of this information might be confidential, particularly related to the business things of Snapdeal. You need to add that confidentiality there, please. All right. And also, we are going to provide whatever collaterals are going to be provided, material is going to provide. Please make sure that you are going to use only those materials and not any other material. Being innovative does not mean here that you come up with your own materials to market and stuff like that. Okay. And also, the SmartE, the Apprentice Challenge, is a brand by itself. We are requested not to distort that in any manner. All right. So here you go, friends. We have an expert from Snapdeal now. Before that, Abhinav is going to come on and address you once again, and you'll hear from the expert from Snapdeal, and then we'll talk about the various of the rules and how to actually run this competition, how you'll take part in this competition, and we'll take your questions. Thank you very much. I look forward to work with you all.
Thank you, Asgar. It's been really great to hear from you. We really appreciate your time and your guidelines you have shared with us. I believe that students must have got a very clear idea about Snapdeal and the broader perspective of Snapdeal and SmartE's collaboration, and going forward how SmartE would be. I will cover the challenge one's association with Snapdeal and what challenge one is. challenge is onboard maximum number of sellers onto the Snapdeal marketplace with minimum commitment of 5 products from every seller. Let's say if you are approaching a seller, a manufacturer, or a vendor, you have to get a clear understanding from them that they are going to provide 5 products. Every seller, every manufacturer will provide at least 5 products, and then only you will consider them eligible for uploading on Snapdeal marketplace. Although you can have the details of rest of the sellers in your network, in your contact, or through your market research, whomsoever you have got. Getting into the action mode will be that you participate and engage in the activities anytime during the 21st August to 6th September duration. It's up to your time management skills, it's up to your real-time academics and life management skills, how you go ahead and do this task, working only on weekends or working only on evening or early morning. It's all up to you. You have to show the results like any corporate would expect from you. Then there are performance linked scholarships, which you can in easy terms say these are the prizes for you if you really perform well, and those are for every sailor you onboard, you attract a scholarship of worth rupees 300. So you can multiply it with number of sailors you onboard, and at the end you can understand how much you would be entitled for the scholarship. And then a winning team will additionally get a scholarship around 20,000 rupees worth, and the top three will be offered a pre-placement interview opportunity. Yes, a pre-placement interview opportunity with Snapdeal. We will discuss about it little later from now. And then participant, the individual, the one who is performing the best among all the 600 team members, will be having highest number of onboarded seller and will be additionally earning the scholarship worth rupees 5,000. And that's something which you cannot miss out on. You have to compete not only as a team but as an individual also. You should perform very well to attract this additional scholarship for yourself. Certificate of participation will be given to everybody, but you have to understand this, that your efforts should be shown in your reporting structure, your reporting content. Until unless your team reports every data in proper format to utilize by us, we will not consider your participation proper. You have to report all the content to us in a very proper manner, for which we have prepared the reporting structure, and I'll explain it little later. Now, coming to the key informations, you would have received our confirmation mail, and you can see these timelines to adhere strictly to these timelines. And the next thing you should remember is that there is a module specific webinar also, which is on 24th August 2:30 to 3:30 p.m. by our another partner called First Advantage. The expert from First Advantage will come and will have a module specific webinar with you people, and you will learn a lot about certain skills there as well. Participating in online video module, which we will be circulating to you over the mail once again, and you can go through those modules, these online modules, anytime up to your comfort, as per your comfort. But we recommend you go through these modules as soon as possible, so that you know the reality and practicality as well as the theory side of the competition. This knowledge from these video modules will really help you communicate well about the competition, about the marketplace, and about the skills you need to showcase. And then you have to remember this: 6th September is the date when the competition will get over, and before 12 a.m. means midnight of 6th September, you have to submit your reports. There will be no excuse that you cannot have your partners with you, or you would not have internet connection or anything like that. You know the timelines, you know the deadlines, you know how to manage your time, you know how to manage your reporting. You have to be ready. Please don't do the last minute rush. You will be disqualified if you don't give us the right detailed report as per the format. Then finally, once we will be done with the reporting, and then we will be analyzing and examining your reports, we will come up with the results and a debriefing session on 21st September. And For that also you all have received a link in the confirmation mail. Please keep your confirmation mail very safely. Now the certain rules, quick rules to go ahead and make your best output. The team should only onboard a seller who can commit at least 5 products. As I already mentioned, minimum 5 products must be there from one seller whom you are approaching, and then only you will consider them as a eligible seller on Snapdeal marketplace. If there is a duplicate entry by any of the two teams, let's say I'm a seller, you come to me, and there is another team who comes to me, and both of you try influencing me and upload my details, then in that case, the one who will upload the seller's detail first will get the credit. So you have to upload the detail first on Snapdeal's marketplace, for which Mr. Yuvraj will explain a little later, and on a Google form also, which is for the Google form we have already shared the link in the confirmation mail. You have to upload the details of every seller on both these places almost immediately and simultaneously, so that you will not miss out on any information. We will not have any confusion with respect to your individual entries. Finally, if you validate, let's say you have done the entries on a Snapdeal Market and Google Form, then your work will get over, but the validation process will happen, and that will be done by Snapdeal experts. And Snapdeal experts validation will matter a lot. Any discrepancy in the information submitted by you, and the decision from validation team will be final. Okay, remember this thing. In case of a tie situation or equal scoring situation, maximum number in the least time, there would be many who would be bringing a lot of numbers, but who brought it faster, right? The one who brings it faster will win the race. And now one more information which is very interesting for every one of you with respect to the criteria for selection of the winners. INR 300 rupees worth scholarship for every seller onboarded. This is one fact which you have to consider and remember in your mind, and then you can accordingly see how you are performing with respect to the scholarship. Then a winning team will additionally get 20,000 rupees worth scholarship, but get maximum number of sellers with minimum 5 products onboarded and with a minimum floor of 15 sellers. Means you have to get minimum 15 sellers to get eligible for the winning team. To become a winning team, you have to get 15 sellers minimum with 5 products, having 5 products, and you have to in fact onboard more than 15 sellers. Winning participant gets Indian rupees 500 worth additional as an individual, and the criteria for that is to get maximum number of sellers onboarded, again with minimum 5 products each, but to have at least 8 sellers onboarded. So as an individual, if I want to earn an additional winning scholarship, then I have to onboard at least 8 sellers. Next is top 3 teams who will get the pre-placement opportunities will obviously have to understand this scoring segment, that you will be getting a score of 3 per seller if the seller has 5 to 10 products. Let's say a seller has 10 to 20 products to onboard or up on the market, then you get 4 score per seller. And then finally, if you have a seller who has more than 20 products to upload and showcase, then you will get 5 point score for per seller. Top 3 with minimum score, with a minimum cutoff score of 150, will have the winning. So please remember these criteria. Strategize your planning. Your strategies should be done according to this, so that you get maximum out of your efforts. Now, before coming to the reporting structure, I would like Mr. Yuvraj to explain the process the process of onboarding in Snapdeal and how it happens for an individual who is professionally doing it, and then for you guys how it would go ahead. I request Mr. Yuvraj to share his screen and show his presentation to you all. Mr. Yuvraj, over to you. You would be able to listen to me. Mr. Yuvraj? Mr. Yuvraj, we are unable to get your voice. We couldn't hear anything for last few minutes. Will you please check your mic, unmute or mute?
He has muted himself.
Mr. Yuvraj, we feel that you have muted yourself.
I have muted myself. Yes, yes.
We got your voice for a while. Can you hear us?
I can hear you well. Can you hear me?
Now we are getting your voice.
Okay. So, well, I'm going to take you through a presentation where we'll understand how a seller is onboarded within the organization. There's one bottom line that we need to draw to understand that we do the right thing. We give the right and precise information to all our sellers at all time. Eventually, we get them onboarded with us or not is a secondary question. Giving the right information and making sure they look up to the organization in a way that they would like to get associated with is our motive. So, probably because you were not able to listen to me, I would go back a couple of slides and we'll take it forward from there.
Yeah, that would be really great. Yes.
Thank you. Well, Snapdeal, the India's largest online marketplace. And we are going to learn about the seller business development model. And to take it forward from here, I'm going to show you a small video. I would just like you to confirm if you're able to look at the presentation.
Yes, we can see your presentation.
Very good. All right, so here we go with the video.
ये है श्याम अग्रवाल जी। सालों साल जीत और मेहनत करके इन्होंने अपना बिजनेस खड़ा किया, हमेशा क्वालिटी का ध्यान रखा और कई लॉयल कस्टमर्स बनाए। मगर श्याम जी थोड़ी टाइम बाद सोचने लगे कि अब बिजनेस कैसे बढ़ाया जाए। श्याम बाबू इन्हीं ख्यालों में थे कि उनकी धर्मपत्नी ने उन्हें अपने भाई से सलाह लेने का आइडिया दिया, जो इन दिनों अपना बिजनेस ऑनलाइन भी चला रहा था और बहुत तरक्की कर रहा था। श्याम जी पहुंचे अपने साले के घर, जिसने उन्हें बताया सेल ऑन स्नैपडील के बारे में। सुनील ने समझाया कि स्नैपडील एक ऑनलाइन मार्केटप्लेस है जो श्याम जी जैसे बिजनेसमैन को करोड़ों कस्टमर्स तक पहुंचने का प्लेटफॉर्म देता है। स्नैपडील की अपनी कोई इन्वेंट्री नहीं है और वो किसी भी तरह से अपने सेलर्स के बिजनेस के साथ कम्पीट नहीं करता। श्याम जी सोच में पड़ गए। उन्हें तो बस इंटरनेट पर ईमेल चेक करना और न्यूज पढ़ना आता था, वो ये सब कैसे करेंगे। सुनील ने उन्हें बताया कि स्नैपडील पर बिजनेस करना बहुत आसान है। इस पर आने के लिए कोई रजिस्ट्रेशन और लिस्टिंग फी नहीं है और सभी सेलर्स को फ्री ट्रेनिंग भी दी जाती है। श्याम जी समझ गए थे कि ये फायदे की बात है और उन्होंने seller.snapdeal.com पर रजिस्टर कर दिया। उन्हें झट से स्नैपडील से फोन आया और स्नैपडील एग्जीक्यूटिव ने उन्हें रजिस्ट्रेशन बाकी स्टेप समझाए। श्याम जी को अपने वैट, टिन, सीएसटी और पैन की डिटेल्स देनी थी, जो कि उनके पास ऑलरेडी मौजूद थी। अगर नहीं भी होती तो स्नैपडील उनको चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स रेकमेंड करते, जो उनकी सहायता कर देते। स्नैपडील एग्जीक्यूटिव ने उन्हें अपने करंट अकाउंट का एक कैंसिल चेक सबमिट करवाने के लिए भी कहा। इसके बाद उन्होंने स्नैपडील के साथ एक मेमोरेंडम ऑफ अंडरस्टैंडिंग भी साइन किया। स्नैपडील एग्जीक्यूटिव से श्याम जी को यह सलाह मिली कि वो ज्यादा से ज्यादा प्रोडक्ट्स लिस्ट करे। आखिर जितनी बड़ी रेंज उतने ही ज्यादा ऑर्डर मिलने के चांसेस। श्याम जी ने अपने जैसे प्रोडक्ट्स बेचने वाली कुछ वेबसाइट्स पर जाकर देखा कि कौन से प्रोडक्ट्स पॉपुलर हैं और ये प्रोडक्ट्स किस प्राइस पर बिक रहे हैं। फिर अपने एक्सपीरियंस के हिसाब से समझ बूझकर उन्होंने अपने सबसे ज्यादा बिकने वाले प्रोडक्ट्स को स्नैपडील पर लिस्ट करने का डिसीजन लिया और अपनी सूझबूझ से उनका प्राइस डिसाइड किया। स्नैपडील से श्याम जी को मिली प्रोफेशनल फोटोग्राफर्स की लिस्ट, जिनकी मदद से उन्होंने अपने सारे प्रोडक्ट्स को स्नैपडील पर लिस्ट कर दिया। इसके बाद श्याम जी को स्नैपडील ने ऑनलाइन सेलिंग की पूरी ट्रेनिंग करवाई। ये फ्री ट्रेनिंग उन्होंने अपनी सहूलियत से लैपटॉप और फोन पर कंप्लीट करी। जल्द ही उन्हें उनका पहला ऑर्डर मिल गया, जिसे उन्होंने स्नैपडील टेम्पर प्रूफ पैकेजिंग में डालकर स्नैपडील की कुरियर पार्टनर टीम को दे दिया। ऑर्डर टाइम पर डिलीवर हुआ। श्याम जी की तरक्की की गाड़ी निकल पड़ी स्नैपडील पर। कश्मीर से कन्याकुमारी तक उनके प्रोडक्ट्स बिकने लगे। स्नैपडील से उन्हें मिली अच्छी रेटिंग, जिससे उन्हें मिले और ज्यादा ऑर्डर। अपना बिजनेस मैनेज करने के लिए श्याम जी को अब हर वक्त कंप्यूटर पर बैठे रहने की जरूरत भी नहीं थी। वो कहीं से भी अपने फोन पर सेलर ऐप यूज कर सकते थे। अब जब बिजनेस बढ़ा तो श्याम जी को और इन्वेस्टमेंट की जरूरत महसूस हुई, तो उन्हें स्नैपडील एग्जीक्यूटिव की कही हुई बात याद आई। स्नैपडील कैपिटल असिस्ट की मदद से वो बिना किसी सिक्योरिटी या गारंटर के बहुत ही कम इंटरेस्ट रेट पर लोन ले सकते हैं। स्नैपडील कैपिटल असिस्ट प्रोग्राम की मदद से अब श्याम जी ने अपनी रेंज भी डबल कर ली है और वो हर महीने अपनी प्रोडक्ट रेंज बढ़ा रहे हैं। इस बढ़ती हुई प्रोडक्ट रेंज को स्टॉक करने और डिलीवर करने की जिम्मेदारी भी अब उनके सर नहीं रही। उन्होंने स्नैपडील प्लस फैसिलिटी जो अपना ली है। उनका नया ऑफिस पिछले हफ्ते ही शुरू हुआ है और अब तो उनकी टीम और भी बड़ी हो गई है। श्याम जी स्नैपडील के साथ अपने सफलता के सफर में काफी आगे निकल गए हैं। अब श्याम जी एक आलीशान बंगले और अपनी फेवरेट गाड़ी के मालिक हैं। उनकी दुकान भी अब अच्छी खासी बड़ी हो गई है। श्याम जी की तरह लाखों लोग आज स्नैपडील के साथ अपनी सफलता के सफर में आगे बढ़ रहे हैं। सेल ऑन स्नैपडील, ऑनलाइन बिजनेस अब आसान।
Alright, so I'm sure you must have liked the video. So why should you be selling with Snapdeal? It is primarily answered by these three details. The first one, it is free to market your business with us. You pay only when you receive a sale from us. There is no cost of simply listing a product onto our website. You get an opportunity to market your products to a strength of 4 crore plus users. We have got 4 crore plus people who are registered on our website. Every day, now and then, 4 crore plus people get to look at the products which are listed on the website. You can just imagine what kind of sales would a seller receive in comparison to that, even if they receive 1% of orders from the total strength of people who are registered with us. The next point is that we fulfill orders to 5,000 plus cities pan-India. Snapdeal has got the most vast assortment, and we are able to ship products to 5,000 different cities across India. So if you are based somewhere down south, you will be able to sell the products to somebody who's based out of Jammu and Kashmir, and vice versa. Well, just an overview. The company was set up in the year 2010 by Mr. Kunal Behel and Mr. Rohit Bansal. It is an online who are onboarded, list their products on our website, and as and when there are customers getting onto the portal, they look at them. When they like a certain product, they make a purchase through cash on delivery or an online payment. Well, it is very important to know what the organization actually believes in, what are the values which is driving the organization as a whole. First and foremost, creativity. Creativity is the grassroots. The second, we believe in total employee involvement, and we also call it inclusive growth. So each and everybody in the organization has got an opportunity to share his viewpoint and to actually own that initiative. So this correlates to the fourth value which we have over here. Every member owns the task they take up. So we try and inculcate an entrepreneurial spirit. Then the next one is that we are ever evolving and ready to drive change at all times. We are never skeptical or in double thoughts whenever there's a challenging situation and we need to change the way we work. We are always ready for that. And then the fifth one is the most important one, about which we spoke in the beginning as well, that we believe in doing the right thing under all circumstances. Shortcut is not an option for us. We always try and do things the most genuine and appropriate way, no matter if it takes us long or probably it's a difficult task, it's a difficult road that we have to tread on to reach our goal. It is very important to know these values so that you are able to transfer the same message to your sellers. Only then they will believe that you are not there just for the heck of it. The competition is not the only purpose for which you are there, but you really want to be the catalyst to their growth. When they feel connected with you, that is when they will be more than eager to share the documents which are required, to give you time, to talk to you multiple times, to go through the lengthy agreement that they have to completely make sure they have understood, and then they finally accept it. They will give you time for all that only when they actually believe in what you are there for. Well, just a snapshot of our market share. We've got 4 crore plus registered users. We ship across 5,000 plus cities. There are 6,000 plus featured brands, more than 1 crore listed products amongst 500 plus categories. Now, this is just for your information. We have set up benchmarks in the industry. For example, 1 laptop is sold every 2 minutes through our platform. 12 mobile phones are sold every minute. The rest is for you to look at. I'm going to, this is primarily in the electronics category. We'll look at what benchmarks we have achieved in the other categories. This is for you in the home category. When Snapdeal took the initiative of selling automobile through our platform, we were the first one to do that. 42 plus two-wheelers were sold through our platform, and we were able to sell 110 Scorpio cars through an exclusive launch, and a lot more than that. Here we are talking about the fashion category. 1 sari is sold every 12 seconds. 79 women watches are sold per hour. 40 women handbags are sold per hour. And this is just the beginning of it. There's a long list which may follow, and we may discuss it for hours and hours. Now, very quickly, I would like to tell you what is the business model we operate on and what kind of questions you may be asked by the sellers in contrast to that. So the first one is an inventory-led model. Now here, what a company needs to do is they procure items on their own. They have to spend a lot of money and buy products. And when they have bought them, they require a place to store them. And after that, they have to make sure there's a quality check performed. Of course, there's a better opportunity for them to make sure the right product is sent to the buyer, but it requires a lot of hardship. And of course, primary requirement is a lot of money, a lot of capital. In contrast to that, the marketplace model is gaining popularity where it is non-capital intensive. We don't hold products of our own. There are sellers who are getting associated with us. The products are with them at their warehouse, and as and when they receive a sale, they pack the products as per our guidelines, and then they get a pickup arranged for our pickup boy to come over, pick it up from their place, and then drop it to the buyer. This is a model where maintaining quality is completely in the hands of the seller, who's actually packaging the product and then shipping it out to the buyer's place. However, we have designed our policies and procedures in such a way that every seller gives his 100% towards fulfilling orders, and he makes sure that he is able to fulfill the orders as per the expectation, because that will help him earn a better rating, in turn more and more sales. So Snapdeal is primarily operating on the marketplace model. Now, what are the primary advantages? There's no bar as to who can get associated with us. A seller, a manufacturer, a distributor, a stockist, a wholesaler, or a retailer who probably operates in a small town in his own locality. There is no bar at all. Anybody who can provide us the documents we need, and that also comes as a government requirement, because those documents are required to make sure we've got a genuine seller who has got a registered business operating with us. Anybody who has got those documents will be able to function with us. Freedom for sellers to decide on price. It's their price which is at which they sell it. Of course, there's a bottom line that it cannot be sold at a price higher than the MRP, which is maximum retail price, but they have complete control over it. They can change the selling price of the product at any time by simply through a mobile phone application they will be logged into at all times, or by logging on to a panel from their computer. Every day we receive a traffic of around 55 lakh plus visitors. So just imagine there are 55 plus lakh people who are looking at your products every day. So what kind of sales you may expect when this is the kind of traffic we are getting. And then we process more than 2 lakh orders daily. What you get is brand recognition and appreciation. Now, as per Snapdeal, what is it that we provide as services to our sellers? In the first place, we provide them with a virtual mall. Their products are listed and people get to look at them. Logistics and fulfillment services. So we have tied up with a lot of courier partners. We would go to the seller's place, pick up the product at a specific time, and then take it forward from there to drop it to the buyer. Training on listing, updating inventory, and pricing, etc. So after the seller is onboarded and a few products have been listed onto the panel with our support, our training team would call them and give them detailed information as to how they need to be operating with us. This is with one sole objective, that they are able to receive their sale, the first sale, as soon as the training gets over. And then we also provide a hand-holding in case they require more help. We are there at their service. There's a dedicated help desk in case they have got any concerns. They simply pick up their phone or write an email to us, and we are there to resolve the matter. Trust pay and payment collection. So trust pay means that any order which probably gets lost in transit is insured by Snapdeal. There's nothing that the seller has to worry about. The seller would be paid the complete amount that he is eligible for. Also, if a product remains undelivered, the buyer says, I don't want it, because we've got a trust pay for customers as well, to make sure in case they change their mind or they don't want it anymore, they may return it. But in such a case, if the seller is not at fault, he has not made any mistake in the process of fulfilling the order, the seller is completely safeguarded and he would not incur any sort of loss. Marketing campaigns and promotions. So all of you watch television, are great association with Mr. Amir Khan and various promotional schemes and discounts which are running at all times, because India is a land of festivals. Whenever there's an occasion, we come up with an innovative promotion to make sure we are able to drive maximum footfall onto our website, which will in turn help the sellers with more sales. And then we always ensure that good customer service is provided to our buyers, which will in turn help the sellers get more sales. Only when a customer is satisfied, you would like to reorder with the same seller through the same e-commerce website. That's the ideology we follow. Now, to make sure we are able to deliver all this to our sellers and buyers, we require some sort of support and coordination from our partners, our sellers. So to begin with, what we need from them is that they should have a registered business. A registered business which has got a PAN card in its name, VAT, which is value added tax, TIN, tax identification number, and CST, which is central sales tax. Now, CST is optional because at this point of time, in case you think you do not have a CST certification, you would not be able to receive orders from a state other than your home. So let's say you are based out of Delhi. You will only be able to sell to customers who are based out of Delhi if you provide us with only VAT and TIN. However, if you provide us with a CST certificate as well, you will be able to sell products to customers pan-India. This is a government regulation, nothing imposed by Snapdeal, because central sales tax goes to the central government. In case you do not have that certificate, you're not registered with them, you will not be able to receive orders from outside your state. Now, of course, there is no restriction, but it doesn't make much sense because you will not be able to gain 100% benefit of your association with Snapdeal. It's going to be fun, it's going to be exciting, it's going to be exhilarating when you are able to have exponential growth added to your business, and that will happen when you give us all the documents. We require a current bank account, a cancelled check of your current bank account, so that money could be transferred in your account as and when there's a sale received and then the payment cycle arrives. The next thing is a brand authorization letter. What is a brand authorization letter? We'll discuss on the next slide. And we require minimum of 5 POGs. Now I'll tell you what a POG is. POG is product order group. Now here we are not referring to products. So for example, a t-shirt. A t-shirt in 5 different colors or sizes is one POG, which has been subdivided into 5 different products. But here we are referring to 5 different lines of products. So the first one will be a t-shirt, and the second one will be a jeans. The third one could be a trouser. The fourth one will be a vest, if we talk about undergarments. And the sixth one could be a waistcoat. And then the seventh one could be some other accessory, some hair accessory. And then the eighth one could be a cap. The ninth one could be a hat. So that's what we mean when we refer to POGs. Not just the same product in 5 different kinds or sizes or colors. Then we would require the seller to list the products on our website, on our panels. We would guide them as to how to do that, but we would require them to provide us with high quality images of their products. And also content description. So let's say a seller is selling a watch. We would require them to provide us with description of that product, which could be listed on our website. And then pricing details. As I said, a product cannot be sold at a price higher than the MRP. The exact MRP, the printed price of the product, the price at which he would like to sell it, making sure that it has got all the components involved, his own margin, his cut, his basic cost of procuring that item, etc. He needs to update inventory and pricing regularly so that he is on top of it at all times. Packaging and shipping of correct products. Maintaining quality and SLA for delivery as well. SLA is service level agreement. A product has to be shipped out to the buyer within 2 calendar days. If it is shipped later than that, the seller may incur penalties. So we have to make sure the seller adheres to all this. Moving forward, Snapdeal has paneled with 276 chartered accountants across India who may help the sellers get VAT, TIN and CST registration completed. I know getting associated with government bodies and getting these certifications and letters is a tedious task. So we have tied up with CAs who would be able to help them get these documents. Don't forget to let your sellers know to ask for this assistance. As a person who would be onboarding these sellers, you will require to provide the sellers about details of these CAs who are associated with us. How are you going to do that? How would you get these details? We are going to share on the subsequent slides. Also, Snapdeal has tied up with 356 photographers pan-India who would help the seller with an ideal photo shoot right as per Snapdeal's requirements. A few guidelines are here. We require the photographs to be clicked on a white and uncluttered background. There should be proper lighting, picture clarity, high resolution, no border, logo, watermark or props. Image dimension and file sizes should be appropriate. The file size should not be more than 1 MB and should not be something as small as a few KBs. And the photos should always be clicked on a model and no mannequin or ghost mannequin could be used. An approximate idea of the cost a seller would incur in getting the photo shoot done. If it is a model photo shoot, it would be around 200 and 250 rupees per product and 80 to 100 rupees for one product without a model. Now please note that charges which are given over here are for the purpose of reference only. The final charge would completely depend upon the conversation between the seller and the photographer. Snapdeal will not intervene in the conversation of deciding upon the price at which the photo shoot is done. This is how an ideal photo shoot is. Image 1, a front view. Image 2, a side view. Image 3, a back view. Image 4, a zoomed in view. And image 5, a view which would cover the person from head to toe, and the buyer would be able to get an idea how the piece of cloth or the product is actually going to look on him. And these are a few incorrect shots. We require a white background, so this one is incorrect. This lady is wearing a necklace, so it's not the right one. Here the background is gray again. This image is blur. Here the face has got cut, so this is incorrect. Here the lady is carrying a handbag, so again this is incorrect. Here the person is standing in a very casual way. He has got his hands inside the pocket and the tie is being worn in a very casual manner, so this is incorrect. He's wearing a hat, so we're not really sure what is it that the seller is selling. The hat, the specs, the shirt, the t-shirt, the trouser, the shoes. Here in the last one, it is a mannequin. So again, it is not allowed to list a product on a website with a photograph which has got a mannequin in it. Now we'll talk about the brand authorization process. Now if the seller runs his own private label, he's selling product under his own private label, we would need an affidavit along with trademark registration certificate or a trademark registration application. If he does not have a certificate as yet, he might provide us the application only. This will give us a faith that he would provide us the certification once he receives it. Now, this is when the seller runs a panel of his own. He's manufacturing products on his own and then fulfilling them. However, if the seller is sourcing products from a brand or an authorized distribution channel, then the seller would require to provide us with a brand authorization letter issued to him by the brand or his authorized agency, or a VAT invoice from the vendor which has got details of both the parties. It would require to have the TIN number of the seller who's buying products from the authorized channel and the registration details of the person who's selling products to the seller. आपने देखा होगा, when you go to various stores, there is a certificate which is put on the wall of the showroom right at the back of the reception, which tells us that yes, it is a genuine authorized store of Puma or Levi's or of some other brand. This gives a faith in the heart and mind of the buyer that he's at a genuine place, and the product which would be provided to him will be 100% actual and genuine. This is the brand authorization process. Again, there are templates and formats that we have, and the onboarding specialist will be able to provide that to the seller. Now, to ensure utmost customer satisfaction and continuous business growth, we keep a track of issues per sub-order and net promoter score of a seller. As and when a product is delivered to the buyer, we seek a feedback from them as to how did they like the product, and in case there are any sort of concerns or complaints regarding that. If the number of complaints really rise up, or the net promoter score is the recommendation. If I am going to recommend a certain brand or a web portal to my friends and family members, if that net promoter score goes down, then Snapdeal will perform a root cause analysis to identify what is going wrong and assist the seller in bringing things back on track. This is how we ensure utmost customer satisfaction. Now, at this point of time, this is very, very important. We are running a grand promotion. There is no marketing fee being charged to the sellers up and until 31st of August. So if there are sellers getting onboarded till the 31st of August, no marketing fee would be charged to them. So this is a great opportunity for you to make sure you are able to onboard as many sellers as you can, because there will be no marketing fee that they'll have to pay up and until they process 25 orders, or they complete 2 months since enrollment, or their seller rating falls below 4. So out of these 3 conditions, whichever occurs first, from that moment onwards, the seller would require to pay the marketing fee. So let's look at it from this. From 0 to 20, from 25 orders, the seller would not have to pay any marketing fee. However, if he was not able to receive 25 orders, but 60 days have got elapsed already since his association with Snapdeal, from the 61st day onwards, he would require to pay the marketing fee. And then the seller rating. Seller rating is generated after fulfilling 5 successful orders. From the 6th order onwards, the seller rating would be available on the website. Now, if the seller rating has fallen below 4, that means he was not making sure of the quality standards. Then in that case, from the very next order onwards, the seller would be charged a marketing fee. The marketing fee would be waived off in form of a reversal. So in the first place, marketing fee would be charged as per the payment cycle, and at the end of the month, within 7 days, that amount would be reversed to their bank accounts. Very important, this is going to be the key mantra for you to receive great conversion while you are actually onto the field. We have Capital Assist. We heard about this in the video as well. Capital Assist is a service through which we provide monetary assistance to our sellers. Post completion of 3 months on Snapdeal's platform, they can apply for capital assistance. They should have a rating above 4, or they should be operating on Snapdeal Plus mode of order fulfillment to avail this facility. How it works, it's very simple. A seller gets onto our web. The products are listed, customer looks at the product, they buy the product. Our seller would fulfill the order, would pack it up and ship it out to the buyer, and eventually money would get transferred to the seller's account as per the payment cycle. Now, the registration steps are the following. The first thing is that submission of documents to the SD executive, which is going to be you in this particular scenario. Seller registration form submission. So I'm going to tell you how you would submit the details to us. 3, seller registration form gets validated by a validation team. We have got an internal verification team who would make sure the documents submitted are right. And in case there's something wrong in it, the lead would get rejected. However, if the documents are good to go and are approved by our validation team, then the MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, is sent to the seller. The seller would require to go through it entirely and accept it. If he does accept it, then we will take it forward from there and list his products on our website and provide him panel access. If he would reject the contract, the agreement, then the request will get cancelled there and then. And in case he wants to reapply, it would be a new process altogether. So to know more, it is very important to know about the commercials which are involved and what are the other charges a seller might have to bear while he's fulfilling orders. So there's a marketing fee, as we spoke about. The marketing fee is to be paid only when a sale is received. We've got 6 primary categories under which we operate, and here is a range, a ballpark idea as to what kind of marketing fee he might have to pay once he receives a sale. So for men, women and kids fashion, there's a marketing fee range of 15 to 24%. For mobiles and tablets, it is 3% to 22%. And for other electronics, anything other than mobiles and tablets, it's 3 to 7%. For general merchandising, which is home, anything else, something related to automobile, etc., it is 1% to 16%. After that, once a product has been sold through the platform and it needs to be shipped, there's a logistics cost. For the first 500 grams, it is 45 rupees, that plus service tax which needs to be paid. And for every additional 500 grams, it is 35 rupees plus service tax. Now, the logistics cost is calculated on the dead weight or volumetric weight, whichever is higher of the two. Dead weight is the actual weight of the product after packaging, and volumetric weight is calculated through a mathematical formula just to understand what kind of space would a product occupy while it is moved from one place to another. Just an example, a bean bag is huge in size, but is not very heavy. So in such a case, the product would occupy more space. In that case, the volumetric weight of the product is going to be higher and the logistics cost will be computed accordingly. In case the product is heavier than 5 kgs, it needs to be shipped through the surface mode, where we would charge a minimum of 98 rupees for the product to be shipped, with an additional of 14 rupees per kg post 7. And then payment collection charges. It is 20 rupees or 2.7% of the transaction amount, whichever is higher. It goes to the payment gateway service providers or courier partners in case of cash and delivery. 14% is the service tax which is applicable. Now, pricing model, what is the selling price? Now, selling price includes the transfer price, the amount which is transferred to the seller's account eventually after all deductions, Snapdeal marketing fee, logistic charges, and payment collection fee. A seller needs to make sure that Snapdeal marketing fee, logistic charges, payment collection charges, central sales tax or VAT, whichever applicable of the two, is a part of the selling price which he's mentioning on the website, because the seller would not get anything over and above that. Then MRP is the printed price of the product. SD marketing fee, we just spoke about it, for having a product listed on our website. Once a sale is received, they pay the SD marketing fee, logistics charges to get it delivered, payment collection fee for the payment transaction, and net seller payable is the amount that a seller is eligible for after all deductions. And what actually gets transferred into his account is the transfer price. The difference between transfer price and net seller payable is that transfer price is the rounded off value of net seller payable. This actually gets transferred to their bank accounts. This is an example. I would require you to study this, and you will be able to understand what is eventually getting transferred to the seller account. It is 819 rupees after all deductions. Now, payment is initiated to the seller only after the product is delivered to the buyer. Our payment cycle is 7 plus 10 days basis delivery. That means if a delivery is taking place between the 1st to the 7th, its payment gets credited on the 17th. Delivery taking place between the 8th to the 15th, payment gets credited on the 25th, 16th to the 23rd, payment gets credited on the 3rd of the next month, and 24th to the 31st, the deliveries payment happens on the 11th of next month. Invoice is generated in the name of end customer always, and the seller would require to activate the bill to ship to system in his accounting tool, where the entry which happens in his bill books or his accounting system will be bill to Snapdeal and ship to customer. Now you guys are MBA students, you guys are studying, so you would know these accounting entries. A few examples are given on your slides. In case you have any questions, you may ask. We provide listing support for products, as we just spoke about it, and then our team would call them to provide training on how to operate the panels which we provide them access to. Then there is packaging which is required. Snapdeal would provide Snapdeal branded poly bags to the sellers. It is available at 3 rupees per bag, can be ordered from Snapdeal in multiples of 50. And we also provide Snapdeal branded sellotape for a product which cannot be put in a poly bag. You would require to put it in a box and then tape it up. We provide security stickers as well, so that a product does not get tempered on its way to the buyer's place. We give precise packaging guidelines so that the product doesn't get damaged on its way and it reaches without any tempering and without any breakage. We have tied up with various courier companies such as FedEx, First Flight, Delivery, Ecom, and there are a few courier companies which are a part of Snapdeal in itself, such as GoJavas, etc. So there is state-of-the-art, utmost delivery service which is provided to all our buyers. Now, SD Plus model is where in advance we would hold the seller's inventory at our place, and as and when a sale is received through our 24/7 operational warehouse, we ship out the products to the buyers. Here, the seller does not really have to worry about keeping a track of the orders that he's receiving, packaging it, and then shipping it out. We do all that on their behalf, but as we said in the beginning, we do not buy these products. We simply hold the inventory at our place so that the time which is elapsed in picking up the item from the seller's place and then dropping it to the buyer gets reduced, and as soon as an order is received, it is shipped out immediately. Snapdeal Plus service is complimentary till 31st of August. That's another key mantra that you can use as a sales tool to onboard maximum sellers. The payment cycle for SD Plus is reduced, so the seller would get the money sooner than what they get in the standard mode of order fulfillment. There are no disincentives of out of stock, because we keep a track of the inventory and we make sure we have it at all times. And in case we perceive that we might need more, we would send a notice to the sellers to hand over more inventory to us. There's additional operational support which is extended, and then we've got a dedicated accounts manager for all sellers on SD Plus. Now, here we're talking about the return policy. You need not talk about it in detail to your sellers initially while you're onboarding them, but the same information would be communicated to them through the MOU, through the agreement. So in case there's a damaged, defective, wrong product, then the penalty needs to be borne by the seller as per our product complaint resolution mechanism. In case the seller is not able to fulfill the order on time, then penalty as per the shipping policy is applied. And in case the seller was not at fault at all, but the buyer returned it, then Snapdeal will bear the entire cost, the entire penalty, entire loss, and the seller would be 100% safeguarded. Now, returns and damage, Snapdeal has documented policies, as we just spoke about it on the previous slide. So rest assured, there will be 100% justice done to all the sellers, and with the MOU, all these policies will also be shared with the sellers. Return policy. Likewise, now this is important, a miscellaneous provision where we would not entertain any sort of malpractice. So if a seller or anyone on behalf of the seller is involved in buying the product listed by the seller itself or by a competitor, this will be considered as a malpractice. For example, I am selling an iPhone 5 and I ask one of my employees to get onto the website and buy 10 iPhone 5s from me or probably from a competitor, so that we could influence the seller rating positively or negatively. This will be considered as a malpractice, and in case this is figured out, there will be a penalty equivalent to the amount totaling up to the gross merchandise volume of all these corresponding transactions. For example, for these 5 purchases, the total amount was 2,50,000 rupees. Then 2,50,000 would be the penalty the seller will have to bear. The key to sell more is to make sure you have got a vast product assortment. You have got all the variants of a certain product available, all sizes, all colors, all volumes. And then you list products with high quality images, complete product description is provided, and you remain the most competitive seller at all times. We have got a seller's own mobile phone application as well, which is available on Android and the Apple iStore. You will be able to download this application, and the seller will be able to operate on the go. He would receive orders on his phone, and he can just let his partner know at the shop that this order needs to be fulfilled. He can update inventory, he can track payments, he can update price of his products on the go. With that, if he's using a computer to list the products, he would require Microsoft Office 2010 or an above version. He would require to use Mozilla Firefox. These are a few simple guidelines which we have. And then chat. This is a revolutionary feature. At times a buyer gets onto the website and he has got a lot of questions about the product. And then if he's not able to get an answer, he goes back to a physical store to get an answer to their question. Now to avoid that, we've got a chat facility. The customer can chat with the seller can reply to him instantly and resolve his query. This will help him in converting the footfall into a sale. So when a buyer gets onto the website, the seller will be able to ensure that he's able to convert that footfall into a purchase. There is no hidden cost at all. We just spoke about what all a seller would need to pay once he receives a sale, nothing before that. Now the final stage of registration is that document submitted, seller registration form is validated. If goes well, then the seller is provided with panel access, and then packaging material is dispatched. Now this is important. Now we are getting towards the hygiene part. What all a business development executive needs to ensure while he is onboarding sellers. So the first one here is ensure to check the aptness of the seller to get associated with us. Refer to the banned product list shared on the subsequent slides. So on the next few slides, I'm going to show you a list of banned products. Make sure you are not onboarding a seller who is selling any one of those items. Ensure to give the complete and right information at all times. Ask whenever in doubt. How are you going to ask? We'll let you know. A few occasions when you need to be extra cautious is what we'll discuss on the next slide. Validate the documents before confirming the lead. A seller with incomplete documents will not be onboarded and won't count as your lead. Each seller should be able to provide us with a minimum of 5 POGs. You would need to get images of those products from the seller as a confirmation to the same. Memorandum of understanding has to be accepted by the seller himself and no one else on his behalf. And also, sellers should have access to the email ID and phone number registered in our records, and the verification using the one-time password should be performed by the seller himself and nobody else. Payment is credited to seller after the product is successfully delivered to the customer and as per the payment cycle which is given right on the screen. And unless they move to SD Plus, as I mentioned, SD Plus has got a shorter payment cycle. In case of SD Plus, the payment is credited to the seller's account when a product is dispatched, where in normal conditions it is credited when the product is delivered. The payment cycle for SD Plus is 5 plus 5 for electronics, and for home and fashion it is 10 plus 5. Also, practice caution that direct association with Snapdeal on Snapdeal Plus mode of order fulfillment is not possible. A seller must get onboarded with us on dropship, which is a regular one, and then seek a transfer. Exception could be made for sellers whose scale of operation guarantees bulk orders from the beginning. To check eligibility, one may write to the email ID given on your screen. Snapdeal marketing fee doesn't fluctuate as a practice. There's at times a misunderstanding that sellers think that the margin is going to reduce sometime later or it is going to increase. Would like to tell you it doesn't fluctuate. As and when there is a promotion running, we share a notification when the marketing fee structure is revised, and it is like information which is shared with one and all through a uniform channel. Orders are received upon listing the products on a website as per the guidelines to ensure maximum visibility, attracting visitors to your page, and being the most competitive seller. What all can you do to ensure these three is listed on your screen here. Ensure that a seller takes care of all these items to get more and more sales. But there is no guarantee or commitment which is made from our side that there will be X number of sales received by the seller as soon as he is onboarded. That will be a false commitment. Now here is the list of banned products. Let's quickly gaze through it. I'm going to take you to the next slide now. A few more items. A few more. So this is the list of banned products which cannot be sold on our platform. Now, most important, how to share the lead with us. The participants will have to fill up the seller registration form. It has been designed in form of a Google form, and it is accessible through the URL which is given on your screen. You click on this link, there's a form that you would need to fill up, and when you submit it, it comes to us and we take it forward from there. You would require to email the supporting documents to us at the email ID given on your screen. This is pallavi.barnwal@snapdeal.com. pallavi.barnwal@snapdeal.com. The subject line of such emails should be NEN underscore the name of your team underscore the PAN number of the seller. These are the supporting documents we require: photograph of the PAN card, VAT and PIN registration certificates photograph, and if they have got CST, it's great, you can include a photograph of that as well, cancelled checks photograph, and then photograph of those 5 products, 1 photograph each product. Now this is not going to be used for listing on the website, this is just to guarantee he's going to provide us with a minimum of 5 products. The next one will be, there will not be any online link for the submission of documents, and the submission is accepted via email only. So via email you submit the documents to us. The documents cannot be submitted through the online form. Through the online form we match the leads that we are getting. So we get the seller's details there and we match it up with the documents we have received over email. The content that you share with us, the photographs and the images, you need to zip them up in a single folder and then attached onto the email. So if there are more than 1 zip files needs to be attached within the email, do that accordingly. You need to ensure to check for duplicate seller at the following link: sellers.dsa.snapdeal.com. You get onto this link, you mention a few details, and you will be able to check if such a seller exists onto our system already. This is how you check for duplicacy. I have got screenshots of these two forms on the next slide, and you will understand how do you need to do that. Now, I was talking about seeking assistance and help. You can do that by calling this 1-800 number given on your screen. In case your query does not get resolved through this 1-800 number, you can call any one of these three people given on your screen. Their mobile phone number is listed right here. The time during which you can call them is between 10 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. on weekdays only. And the most important part is that you can utilize Snapdeal's YouTube channel as well to show various informative videos to your sellers. This is how they'll be able to understand our service offering even better. The Sell on Snapdeal is the name of the channel, and the URL is given right here. This is the guide to check for duplicacy. You go to that link, sellers.dsa.snapdeal.com. You enter the name of the company, the mobile phone number of the seller. The agency code will be C1 for all entries. You mention the seller's email address and its primary category. When you check all that, you click on Save Record. After updating all these fields, if seller is new seller, form gets successfully submitted. However, if he is already there onto the system, you will receive an error. So this is how you will be able to check for duplicacy. Now this is the seller registration form. You put the requested date, the date when seller onboarding request is being made. You select his primary category from the list given here. You put a tick mark on the check boxes, on the appropriate checkbox. SRF is being filled by whom? You would require to put your name, company's registered name as reflecting in VAT TIN, owner name, name of the owner of the business, owner's mobile number, communication mail ID, primary mail ID, and billing address. Registered company's address for invoicing purpose, and then billing city, billing pin code, pickup to be done from this address. So the address from where the seller would like us to pick up his products after packaging comes over here. Pickup city, pickup code, WIT and VAT, TIN, CST information. Now we are moving towards the end of it. Now I would quickly like to take you through a seller success story, just to understand how we have really been impacting the life of lakhs and lakhs of people pan-India. So let's quickly look at this.
Excuse me, Yuvraj.
Yes, please.
Yuvraj, Abhinav here. Excuse me. I would request you to move on after this with this video. We are running almost.
Okay, I'll skip that, Abhinav.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so we are here talking about the reward. Abhinav has already shared the information with you. So a snapshot of the same information is given over here on your screens. Here's more. So these are the 4 different ways through which you can really make it large. So an important reminder, seller has to update the inventory for the products to go live. In the beginning, his inventory is kept as 0 so that until he gives a consent, he himself, through his own computer, increases his inventory count, he would not be able to go live. He will have to do it by himself. Higher the number of products live, higher the probability to get sales. At least, so we recommend the sellers to have more than 30 items listed with us, but they cannot get associated with us if they do not have at least 5. So more products, more sales. It's the variety is the key. They should be able to sell all the different variants available of a certain product. This is how the sales are. This is the kind of trend we have been able to look at. Less than 10 POGs, they receive very minimal sales, but if they have more than 30, the business gets exponential growth. Well, with this we come to an end of this module, and I hope you will actually be able to make it large and really add much value to your skill set, and we look forward to get associated with you in the future. Every individual who's participating in this contest. Thank you.
Thank you, Yuvraj. A lot of information, and I believe all the participants who are watching this webinar would have got a broader idea as well as the minor details also. To quickly wrap up this session and to make it more comfortable for the participants, I will showcase the contact uh, list, contact people whom these participants can approach. You already mentioned about Pallavi and the people from your organization whom they can reach out to, and they can discuss the issues if required. And from our end, uh, to understand about the process as reporting, I'll quickly mention that there are types of reporting in which it is daily reporting. Wherever you are going, you have to report the same content as a participant to us, to NEN also what you are reporting to the seller dot dsa.snapdeal.com. Whatever uploading you are doing there, you have to do the same uploading here on daily reporting. Then there is a final reporting at the end of the your session of these 21st to 6th of September dates. Whatever you have done, that final reporting to NEN you have to do, in which your photographs and videos would matter a lot. Please remember the video duration should be only 3 minutes, and the video and photograph should be clicked at the best capacity of yours. It could be from your mobile phones, it could be from your camera, but the quality, the background, the people within the frame of the photograph and video must be very formal, and the body language of the teams, the members or the participants as well as the sailor should be very formal and appealing, because this will be used for the promotion of your team's activities, the promotion of your teams when you are winner or you are in the shortlisted teams. The help desk for NEN is headed by Abhinav, and you can reach out to us on the phone number, which is 080-33074-314. You have communicated the same number in your confirmation mail, and the unique email ID for SmartE for NEN is smartE2015@nenglobal.org. Snapdeal will address any query related to onboarding process of sellers, and NEN will address the queries related to the competition and the reporting to the NEN. So you know about Snapdeal's helpline number of Mr. Justin, Abhishek and Abhay here displayed again, and before that you have to try reaching to the number which is 1800-419-0050. Rules for contacting helpline: refer to the webinar video first, which we'll be sharing soon after our webinar. Only one team member, preferably the lead of the team, must approach from the team, consolidating all the queries and representing the team's queries. No multiple communication with multiple people from a team. And timing, please adhere to the timing of 10 to 5 p.m. maximum between Monday to Friday. With this, we come to the end of this webinar. We hope a lot of knowledge has been gained by you people, and you will utilize this information to achieve your target, to showcase your entrepreneurial skills and to make it very large from your end. Any queries, any questions, please address to SmartE 2015 at nenglobal.org related to the SmartE competition, and for Snapdeal queries, you know where you have to address. I hope with this we can end the session, and we will conclude by wishing all the best to every one of you for this competition. Let us know your questions in return. We will respond back on that. Have a great day. Have a very competitive time during this competition. All the best. Nice to have you all here. And if you have any questions, please let us know over the mail also. We are taking few questions right now and addressing them. Considering the time constraint, we will not cover all the questions right away. So there is a question from Sam. What kind of daily reporting you supposed to do? See, when you are approaching a seller, you need to maintain the data of that seller and report the same data to NEN. and the same data you would be uploading to the seller's website of Snapdeal. So remember, do not accumulate the data and then one fine day you upload it. You please do this uploading process and daily reporting process in the prescribed online form. The next question we can take from, okay, there were some questions that they cannot hear us, but don't worry, we will be sharing the recorded version of this. And now there is a question from Saikat asking, sir, what is POGs? Yuvraj, can you just quickly recall on the POGs so that students understand with the example how they should consider the POGs?
Absolutely. So I would like you to differentiate between a product and a product order group. So if I am a person who's dealing into garments, in that case, I would be selling t-shirts, I'll be selling trousers, jeans, I could be selling accessories, shoes as well, footwear, hats and caps, etc. Now, all these are different product order groups. However, if I talk about a t-shirt in pink color, in yellow color, in orange color, in size 32, in size 36, a size 40, then this is not a product order group, this is just a product. So we want you to provide us with 5 POGs. That means one would be a t-shirt, the second would be a shirt, the third one would be a trouser, the fourth one could be a jeans. That's how, if I'm not probably interested in buying a t-shirt, I might come across a shirt that has been listed by you and make a purchase. But if I don't want a t-shirt at all, then no matter how many t-shirts you list, you will not, the seller would not receive that sale. So that's the ideology behind it. So that's what we urge you to do. I hope I was able to answer the question.
Yes.
Abhinav, over to you.
Yes, Yuvraj. And there is another question from Aditya asking, if suppose we have two sellers selling similar kind of products, will both be considered or not?
Okay. An answer to that question is yes. We can have n number of sellers selling the same type of product. This will increase competition, and everybody has to just make sure he is most competitive with reference to price. The products are fulfilled as per the standards, so that the feedback they receive from the buyers at the end of it is great, is positive. And the better feedback you get, higher your seller rating goes. So there's no direct competition, face-to-face competition which happens between two sellers. If there are two sellers with a seller rating of 4.8 hypothetically, and both of them are selling the same product, that's when price comes into the picture. Then a person would probably value 5 rupees and would see who's selling it at a better price. But if there's a seller who's selling a product at hypothetically 150 rupees and the other one is selling at 135, but the one selling at 135 has got a seller rating of 3.8, and the one selling it at 10 rupees or 15 rupees more has got a rating of 5 or 4.8 or 4.9, then we have seen it as a trend that the customer would prefer going it with the expensive one, because at the end of it they want to have the product in the way it is actually expected to be. They want to use it, they want to have it, they want it to be perfect, and they won't compromise on spending 15 rupees extra here. So that's what the idea is.
Okay. There is another question from Aftab asking, what if a small retailer wants to use Snapdeal but he does not have computer or internet, and can we assist them in some way?
Absolutely, we can. So now there are, with the standard mode of order fulfillment where a seller has to do everything by himself, we have come up with a very innovative way of getting onboarded with us, which is through SD Wings. Snapdeal Plus Wings, WINGS, where a person who is not acquainted with computer, doesn't know how to operate probably a website and is not used to operate on internet, can get onboarded with us, providing the documents. The documents are a must. Then our team will list so we have partnered with a courier company known as Vulcan Express. They would get in touch with the seller. They would list their products on Snapdeal's panel and will take it forward from there. The complete process of receiving orders and fulfilling them on behalf of the seller will be taken care of by Snapdeal's business partner, Vulcan Express. So there's no stoppage, there's nothing stopping you, just go for it full throttle. Over to you, Abhinav.
Yeah, I will take a few more questions and we'll wrap up the session. That there is one question. So the things which you are telling to us is done by our team or your company will do it. So I'll just answer that participants, please be aware that the entire information was given to you so that you know the end-to-end process. But be aware that your role as a participant is only limited to convince the seller and onboard them on Snapdeal marketplace. The rest all information was to give you more convincing power, to give you more broader ideas so that you can accordingly communicate to the seller and convince them to come on board with Snapdeal. I would like to know, Yuvraj, if you have any other add-on to this answer.
You are absolutely right, Abhinav. This will give them more convincing power. They should know the facts right because the seller would ask, "Mujhe kya lagega?" How is it really going to impact my dhanda? Talking in their own terminology. So one should be able to answer these questions. There's one bottom line that you need to be aware of and draw for yourself is that anytime later as well, if Snapdeal gets to know that there was some incorrect information communicated to the seller to convince him and get him onboarded, it would be dealt with really strictly. So make sure that is the reason we shared all the facts with you because there's so that there is no scope of giving incorrect information. Just stick to the information, make him feel he is wanted, make him feel that you are there for his success and not just to win the competition. And that will help you sail through. Over to you, Abhinav.
Yeah, participants, considering the time constraint, we are limited to these many questions only. But rest assured that our communication over the mail will clarify all the doubts you have. We will be sharing this webinar recorded version also with you, which you can go through multiple times, and you can always write back to us and approach to clarify your details. But your time starts now. You can get into the action and start at least the market research. Don't lose out on any of the leads. Maintain the details of all the sellers or the marketplace people whom you approach. That will help you anytime. That might help you in near future also. With this, we thank a lot to Mr. Yuvraj for his time and his guidance, and with this for this beautiful presentation as well. We thank all the participants also for their time, and we wish all the best to them once again, and expect that they will get into the action immediately soon after this webinar. Please feel free to write to us with respect to the event competition to NEN and for the requirement of the process of onboarding to Snapdeal. Thanks a lot, everyone. Wish you a best of luck for this competition. Thank you, Mr. Yuvraj.
Thank you, Abhinav. Thank you, everybody, and best of luck. Do well.
Thanks.